In the Buddhist tradition, blind faith isn't valued very much. Initially, we have to listen, we have to learn, we have to understand, and then we have to make some decisions. Based on those decisions, okay, following the teachings of the Buddha, I decide that I am going to live a life that is less harmful, that I'm going to be harmless. I mean, not that any of us can be perfectly harmless. Even just being a human being requires and is demanding in certain ways. We're not able to be perfectly harmless. But we wish to be less harmful, to reduce our harmful tendencies, to reduce our negative actions of our body and our speech and our mind. That's a personal decision. And that's a personal decision that requires an effort every day. It's an adjustment every day to walk yourself back from, saying that thing you would otherwise say. Walk yourself back from doing that thing that you know is really harmful for you and for others. That walking yourself back is a decision. And it's a decision that's a basic decision we make when we take refuge in the Buddhist teachings. We make this decision. Now, every single day, we have to renew that decision, because every single day you're going to be challenged by it, whether it's traffic or it's your mother-in-law, whatever it is, the dog pooped on the floor, whatever it is, you're going to have to adjust how you would ordinarily react to that. If your ordinary reaction is a negative, harmful, aggressive kind of a reaction to your world, you have to adjust that. That's basic Buddhism. Lord Buddha said, do no harm whatsoever. With your body, your speech, even your mind, mostly your mind, because if your mind is less harmful, then your speech will be less harmful. Your mind is really in charge. Your mind is what tells you to say. Your mind is what tells you to do. And so if your mind is aggressive and resentful and angry and upset because you don't get what you need and nobody pays attention to you, blah, blah, blah. There's a million things could be going on there, like a million times a million. But that stimuli is what causes you to say that. You don't just say things for no reason. So, what you think matters most. Then that, one way or the other, is reflected in how you speak. There are some people who can think very badly but speak very sweetly, and you don't ever really like it very much. Because behind that is a really, smelly thought. This is not about a smelly thought. This is about a pure thought. Walking yourself back from doing non-virtue is very, very important. But then there is, how do you express yourself? And what is it that you're expressing anyway? The expression of your love, the expression of your compassion, the expression of your joy. That you rejoice in life. The expression of your joy, the expression of your caring, this offering, this goodness reflects from your mind to your speech. And even if you say it a little bit wrong, sometimes we say something a little bit wrong, but our heart is so good that people don't even notice. They don't even notice, because all they got was that they knew your mind, your heart mind, was really good. You really meant good by that. You didn't mean something bad by that. And so our mind gets translated into our speech and into our actions. So the training of the Buddhist path is to be harmless and helpful. This helpfulness, this pure-heartedness, this inclusivity of all beings that are worthy of your kindness, even if they behave badly. Even if they behave badly. We begin to implement this effort, and it's a commitment, it's a decision. You figure it out. Okay, this life is short, but in this life, I'm going to do my very best to be harmless and helpful. I'm going to try. I want to be that kind of person in this world. Then you're following in the morality of the Buddha Dharma. This is wonderful. But there's still the wisdom behind the morality. It's not just morality. It's not just a careful decision to be good and not bad. Of course, that's going to help you. That's going to make your story much easier if you do practice harmlessness and helpfulness. You're going to have a better and better life. But that isn't the real point here. The point here is the wisdom behind the morality is that there is a truth, and that truth is not very obvious to us. As ordinary beings, our truth is not exactly the whole truth. You know, we have the truth. You get up in the morning, you go to sleep at night, you eat some food, you have some friends, you have some enemies, you do some work, you come here, you go there, you take some trips, you go on some diets, you go to the gym, you take some time and go to the beach. We've got our daily life truth. But it's not the whole truth. Most of all, that truth, that little truth, is personal. My personal experience. But again, it's not the whole truth. This whole truth is very valuable and powerful and good. And to know that whole truth is very freeing for every being. But in order for us to experience this wholeness, you have to have exposure. And you have to have comprehension. And you have to have training. And then you have to allow the truth that is the great truth to be the truth. And that's hard for us because we're very habituated. We're very habituated to my truth. I mean, sometimes we're so habituated to my truth that we think it's the whole truth. We assume that it's the truth for others too, when actually it isn't. Each person has their own experience of truth with a small t. Very personal, understandable, but not complete, not free. And so what the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and the great masters are trying to present to us this wholeness of truth. In order for us to experience that, we have to allow for the morality, the harmlessness, the helpfulness. It creates a kind of simplicity. of being, where the whole truth is more easily accessible, more easily exposable, more easily realized. And so it's not that you can skip the training in harmlessness and the training in helpfulness, but if you practice that, it creates a conducive condition for your being able to experience the truth that is with a capital T. Absolute truth. Your Buddha nature. Your Buddha nature. It doesn't really belong to I. It is a little bit lost by I. And so, the Vajrayana is this swift and efficient methodology to expose this absolute truth and the liberation of this smaller truth, so that you can attain enlightenment in this lifetime. Enlightenment is not something over the rainbow or on another planet, or I've said it a million times, it's not something actually else. It is your Buddha, it is your nature. But it's not obvious to us because we are organizing our experience of reality helplessly by the use of I. That finite I cannot give you the absolute nature. So the only thing we can do is remove it. It's quite interesting that it's such a doable thing. It's just that we never heard about it before. Not until we meet the great masters do we realize, oh my goodness, it's doable. It's really doable.